For the first 3 days, you're going to feel irritable, so hang in there. Hey, it's your favorite nutritionist, and today we are talking about what happens if you stop eating sugar for 14 days. Now, the reason that people get really excited about this is because of the weight loss component. But there are so many other cool things that happen when you decide to remove sugar from your diet. And today, I'm going to talk about them all. Before I dive in, let me know how long you've been thinking about doing this and if you've done it before. The first thing that's going to happen if you stop eating sugar is you're going to feel irritable for the first 3 days. So hang in there. It's true. We can be moody and irritable for the first few days, which is why the majority of people do not succeed at doing this. But if you make it past those first few days, I promise you the rest of the 2 weeks will get easier and easier. Now, the reason that we are so irritable when we start to cut out the sugar is because of a neurotransmitter called dopamine. When you eat sugar, you spike dopamine. Dopamine is one of our feel-good neurotransmitters. You might be familiar with serotonin, another one of our feel-good neurotransmitters, which is why when you take an antidepressant, it helps to increase your serotonin. Well, when you're spiking dopamine by eating sugar, that creates a crash and burn cycle. So you're spiking it way up here and then it crashes way down here, leaving you feeling irritable, anxious, or depressed. And this is why we have cravings for sugar, because it's trying to bring that dopamine level back up. You may also notice that during the first few days, you may be experiencing some brain fog. Your memory may not be as sharp as it normally is, and you may be having trouble concentrating. And again, this is because of the sugar causing a spike and a crash of these neurotransmitters, which are needed for concentration and memory. The next thing that's going to happen when you stop eating sugar is you'll experience hunger. So you may be thinking, well, I don't have time to shop for food or prep food, so that's going to be a challenge. But if you plan ahead, you're going to be fine. Just like we talked about with the irritability and the brain fog. This is again related to the dopamine and the blood sugar spikes and crashes. When you're not eating sugar, you're bringing your blood sugar levels more level throughout the day. And this is why we recommend not skipping meals. When you skip a meal, you allow your blood sugar to get really low, and then you're going to experience hunger. So we want to make sure that we're eating regularly, ideally every 3 to 4 hours. This will keep your blood sugar stable and prevent you from getting too hungry. The next thing that's going to happen when you stop eating sugar is you're going to experience a decrease in inflammation. Inflammation is the root cause of all disease. So if you have arthritis, you have asthma, you have heart disease, cancer, diabetes, you name it. It's all because of inflammation. When you stop eating sugar, you're going to notice that your joints start to feel better, your breathing starts to become easier, your skin clears up. Inflammation is at the root of skin conditions like eczema, psoriasis, acne, rosacea. There's over 600 different skin conditions that are triggered by inflammation. So if you're struggling with any sort of skin condition, giving up sugar for 14 days is something that you need to try. Another thing that's going to happen when you give up sugar for 14 days is you're going to sleep better. Ever had that situation where you eat something sweet before bed and then you wake up in the middle of the night for no reason? Well, this is because eating sugar before bed causes a blood sugar spike, which then triggers insulin. Insulin tells your body to store the excess energy as fat, and it also communicates with other hormones to tell them to slow down so that you can sleep. Well, when there's a spike in insulin, cortisol comes up and adrenaline comes up, triggering you to stay awake. And this is why you'll often hear people say that they can't sleep because they ate something with sugar in it before bed. Also, sleeping better will help you heal and repair throughout the night. So you'll actually heal better from injuries, illnesses, and surgeries when you're not consuming added sugar. Next, you're going to have increased energy. As I just mentioned, eating sugar before bed keeps you awake. Well, keeping that blood sugar high also keeps you awake during the day. If you have a blood sugar spike in the morning, you may find that you're tired in the afternoon. And this is because eating sugar in the morning is going to trigger a crash later in the day. But when you stop eating sugar, you're going to have consistent energy throughout the day, and this is because you're keeping your blood sugar at a steady state. The next thing that's going to happen is you're going to feel euphoric. Not only will you feel euphoric, but you will look younger. You'll have brighter eyes, you will have rosy cheeks. This is because when you stop eating sugar, you stop spiking insulin. And when you stop spiking insulin, you allow glucagon to come up. Glucagon is another hormone that's triggered by eating protein and fat, and this hormone works opposite of insulin. So while insulin stores fat, glucagon burns fat. While insulin causes inflammation, glucagon decreases inflammation. So eating sugar causes inflammation in the body, which leads to dull skin, puffy eyes, cellulite. All of those things are signs of high insulin. When you're not eating sugar, you're going to have less insulin, which will lead to glowing skin, brighter eyes, less cellulite, and a slimmer appearance. Next, you're going to feel less stressed. Eating sugar causes stress in the body. It stresses out your pancreas. It stresses out your liver. It stresses out your kidney. It stresses out your adrenals. All of these organs work over time when you're eating sugar, which is why if you stop eating sugar, you're going to feel calmer and less stressed. The next thing that's going to happen when you stop eating sugar for 14 days is you're going to be more focused. I mentioned earlier how sugar affects your ability to concentrate and your memory and your focus. But when you stop eating sugar, you allow those neurotransmitters to come back online and function properly. Next, your libido will increase. Libido is affected by blood sugar. Men, especially, are impacted by this. If you're a male that's watching this video and you're like, "Oh, wow, this makes sense now." You may have noticed that when you're sick and your blood sugar is elevated from the sugary foods that you're eating, you're less interested in sex. And this is because when your blood sugar is high, your testosterone is low. That's the exact reason why we see diabetics often have issues with their libido. The next thing that's going to happen when you stop eating sugar for 14 days is you're going to have healthier hair and nails. Eating sugar depletes vitamin C, B1, zinc, iron, and other key nutrients that are needed for strong hair and nails. And when you stop eating sugar, you allow these nutrients to come back and support stronger hair and nails. So those are the top 10 things that are going to happen when you stop eating sugar for 14 days. And if you made it through the first 3 days, congratulations. You can totally do this. And I know you want to stick around to learn more about sugar, so make sure you check out my other video right here, where I share my top 8 tips to reduce your sugar cravings.